What is up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. I'm here with my co-host Heather C. Last night, 90 Day Fiance, before the 90 days, season 5, episode 6 aired. This is part 2. We are back and we are talking about the newest couple, Ben and Mahogany. Last night, Twitter has decided that Mahogany is not a real person. We don't know that for sure, but that is what Twitter has decided, and the rest of the world also believes as well.
I
So
think he's
Ben is
one better tweet. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, go check out this guy's Twitter. He has the best response to that comment. The one about Mahogany being fake and catfishing. Check it out. It's hilarious, guys. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
all right. So Ben is 52. Mahogany is 24, so there's a 28-year age difference off the bat. He is divorced. He has 4 children. One of his children I saw online was 23. Is his oldest, which I think is very strange that he would be trying to marry a 24-year-old who's 1 year older than his oldest child. He was raised in a cult-like religion, which I can relate to. I was also raised in a cult-like religion. And I guess the best way to describe him is like a walking midlife crisis. He's a fitness model and he has a motorcycle and he likes to date really young girls. Like, I don't want, no, 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 really young women. Women. I said that incorrectly. Because his ex-wife did say that this is not the first time that he has dated someone younger. Woman. I said that wrong. A younger woman. And what do you think about him? Because there's a lot to take in. Every Twitter just blew up. Everyone is going in every which direction. They're calling him all types of things. They've compared him to someone from the Seeking Sister Wife show. Like, where are you going with this?
Oh my God. Yes, I see that. Yes, that is a good one. Um, how do I feel about Mr. Dilf over here? I don't like the way he's doing his family. I really don't. Like, as like his children, they're probably like really embarrassed because like even his one daughter, when he was like, I'm going on this spiritual journey and oh this that, and she's just like, okay, like it's not fair, like yes, he deserves to be happy and whatever, but he's so sure of himself and he's not even 100% that that's even who it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with loving yourself, taking care of yourself, wanting better for yourself or whatever, but he just seems really self-absorbed. Midlife crisis is a perfect way to describe this situation. And I don't know how else to not describe it because instead of him, which it seems like his ex-wife is doing, embracing her age, embracing her being a woman, a mother, and, just doing what normal people do, he's out there living his life like a 27-year-old. So I don't know. I'm really excited to keep watching this to see what she looks like. Is she real? Who knows? It's
A
exciting though.
3-second video. A 3-second video is what he got to prove that she was real enough to send her $1,000. 3 seconds. I'm just gonna let that sink in. And next week he's preparing to go to visit her in Peru. So this will be the first time that we've had a full catfish, if she's a full catfish on the show. Because with David and Lana, it was type of a catfish, but she did turn out to be a real person. She just really didn't want to be with David. So
Yeah.
I really want to see how this goes. This will be a first. So let's talk about Gino and Jasmine. So the day after the Christmas fiasco where he got her absolutely no present and then tried to write off an electric toothbrush that he gave her a week prior as her Christmas present, Jasmine has come up with the perfect solution. She has went and found a trip to an island in Panama, and it only costs $2,500. And this is the way that he can make up to her for not purchasing a Christmas present. And actually, Gino agrees to it, but before they can celebrate, she goes on a tirade and tells him that he needs to burn everything in his home that reminds him of his ex, even the colors that they liked together. And I think that's a little over the top because every ex you've liked might have liked a different color. So you can't just eliminate colors out of your life completely. You would have like a white and black house. And like some people even like white and black. So like I think that this was a bit over the top.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and defend her here. I think it's more so than the colors per se. I think it's more about the principle. I mean, we know this, but she doesn't, that he still keeps in contact with one of his ex. So obviously, he's not going to bash her because he still has a close bond with her. But since she doesn't know that, she's looking at it as, these are your exes, this is your past, I'm your future present, etc., etc. When I look at this reminds me of your past. It reminds me of when you shared a life with another woman. And no woman wants to be constantly reminded of somebody else's baggage or ex or whatever. So I think it's just the way she perceived it, but I don't think she was like, color pink, burn it. Like, I think she was more so like, come on, free yourself of whatever that you have in your house that has any representation of your past.
Well, with that said, do you think that maybe she should have waited until she got back to his home with him and then they went out and shopped and found new things to replace it with? Do you feel like this was the right time to bring it up? To say, oh, well, I don't like the things in your house before she got back to the house? Because she said, I don't want to live in the house with those things, but she doesn't technically live in that house yet.
Well, I think like a lot of women, especially ones that are like spicy or hot, tempered and stuff, I think that thoughts always are processing in their mind. So, like, even though that probably for like one person might not be the time or the place to discuss it, for another person, that's all that's on their mind. And until they get it out, they're not going to be able to sleep at night. Even though to you, it might seem like, okay, this is stupid. We're not even talking about this right now. But to her, it might be really important, end of the world, whatever. Because if they're on two different pages, it's going to end up being a deal breaker. Clearly, he's like quiet, reserved, whatever. And she's just like this spicy woman who's just like, yes, I'm here to do this, that, and the other. And they're already on two different pages as it is. So I think that they just need to learn how to communicate better and then it should be fine. But yeah, I don't think that she was too outrageous for her outburst. If that's how she feels, then let the woman get it out. Make her feel better.
Okay. So she told him last night that she was taking birth control pills because he wanted to have a baby right away. I'm actually Team Jasmine on this. This was their first time meeting in person. There's no reason why she should be getting pregnant. I think that
Yeah.
this is a time for her to feel out who he is and same for him to feel out who she is. So I'm Team Jasmine, her body, her choice. She decided to take those birth control pills. That was what's best for Jasmine. And I respect Jasmine's decision. I know that she didn't tell him right away, but again, it's her body. It's her uterus. She decided what was best to put, what was to be put in there. And I agree with her 100%. So last night, Mike and Amena, she comes clean last week about lying to Mike about not being able to have kids. So what bothered me was she never apologized. She kind of was like, oh, well, I had painful childbirth and I had issues and I had bad relationships. And she never said, look, I'm sorry for lying to you, because every time he brought up to her in conversations over the last 9 months about kids and baby names and everything, she went along with it. My issue was she never actually apologized. She kind of just made herself a victim, which I'm not saying she isn't. She has had a rough upbringing, a rough life, and rough relationships, and a rough pregnancy. And I know pregnancy can be and childbirth can be one of the most painful things in the world. So I'm definitely not diminishing her situation and what she went through. But I just felt that she should have at least said, look, I'm sorry for leading you to believe that I could give you children when I couldn't, because I felt like that was something super important to him. And she knew it was important to him. And instead of telling him right when the relationship was starting to get serious, she waited until he's there and, has a ring to propose to her. And then she told him the truth. I just felt like that wasn't fair.
It definitely wasn't fair. I think that if she wanted anything to be faithful and long term and all that good stuff, she should have just told him off the bat. I think personally, because you said she had so much horrible things happen, that she was scared by her being upfront, it would deter him from even coming there. And maybe she thought that if she waited until she saw him in person, she could at least change his mind. Because if you tell somebody something on the phone, they can click hang up on you, block you, whatever. They're in two different countries. So it's not like she could just drive over to his house, knock on the door and say, hey, I want to talk. So no, it wasn't right the way she did it by any means. But I think maybe I like to try to justify people's actions as best as I can. I think that maybe she did it with the hopes that she could win him back in person than trying to like lose him forever and at least tell her side. He seems like a sweet enough guy where she could have been honest and he would have been understanding, because you can't help what somebody did before they met you. She got her tubes tied and all that before he was even in the picture. And if he would have said, hey, I want to have kids one day, and she could have been like, I had the surgery, I'm not able to give that to you, he could have then said, you know, whatever. But we have to remember that there's a huge language barrier. They rely on that horrible thing to talk back and forth with each other. It probably was easier for them just to be in person.
All right, so Amina reveals to Mike while they're in Silento on a romantic trip. This is, keep in mind, the only time that they were able to escape Amina's family since he's been there. Every moment that they've been together so far has been with her entire extended family. It's very, very difficult to get to know someone when their mom, dad, stepmother, children, brothers, and sisters are all present. So, and this went well up until the point where she tells Mike that she used to be in a relationship with a hitman. And this hitman has actually ordered a hit on her life. And she called the police, or she sent the message to the police, and she assumes that there's no longer a threat. She has no confirmation that there's no longer a threat. She doesn't even know if this man is in prison or free. So I feel like this time that they had to get to know each other was just thrown a wrench in it, because now he's worried about the safety of everyone involved,
including himself. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot going on with this relationship. I don't want to be like his family and just be like, throw the towel in and move on, because it's a lot easier said than done. I mean, when you love somebody, there's a lot of emotions and feelings and, you know, time, energy. He put money into this visa process and all this, you know, traveling back and forth. He's really trying to like get to know her, but she comes with a lot of baggage. She's a lot of baggage. A lot of it's from her past, and you can't help it. I mean, people go through things and it is what it is. You just have to move forward. And it looks like she's trying to move forward, but he just better hope that that hitman isn't far behind, because I don't know. That would be a deal breaker for me. I don't know. That's a lot of fear.
A hit on someone's life is definitely a deal breaker for me. All right, guys, that's it for part 2. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Make sure you're live tweeting with us every Sunday night for 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk to you guys really, really soon.